Hi and welcome back for day 14 of 365 days of art. You can see that I have the previous day hanging up behind me as always. Was really happy to get back to watercolor, very fun. I'm actually hoping to do a couple more of those. But first we need to finish our acrylic pours. So I have one of them hanging up behind me, no cracks, nothing at all wrong with it. It actually came out really great. I'm super happy with it. And again, that was just with acrylic paint, water. There was no alcohol in this one that we did. So I prepared a very brief sketch like I've talked about before. I just looked at a couple different reference photos, sketched something out so that I can see my lines, and we are going to attempt to paint that on there. Now that you're up close, you can see what I was talking about. There are no cracks in this. It actually dried rather perfectly. We could just leave this as is. A lot of people do with their acrylic pours. I don't really want to detract from what's going on here, but I did sketch out that flower just because I want to add some extra interest to the piece and I want to practice. Because I don't want to detract though, I'm just using shades of gray and titanium white. Still using my Arteza acrylics. I'm going to kind of keep using them until I run out. We're back, and guess what I decided while it was drying? I super don't like it. And you know what I said about paint? You can paint over it. So I looked up some tree silhouettes, and rather than the kind of bushy trees that I've been doing, we're gonna go for some more intricate lines, which would also be a good practice. So I'm just gonna start by covering what I know I need to cover, and this is Mars Black by Arteza mixed with the Liquitex matte gel. I thought about keeping them because everything doesn't have to be perfect, and to be fair, I don't regret painting them on this background. That's where some people might be like, oh, see, you never should have touched it. But I knew I didn't really care for the background just by itself either. I'm just not big into that. It's just not quite my thing. So I knew I was going to paint something on it, and I never regret painting something because I feel like people avoid painting ideas when they're like, or drawing even, you know, just doing anything. They're like, I have this idea, I can't get it out of my head, but I know it's going to be terrible, so I'm not going to do it. Well, maybe you should do it. I know it's not going to be exactly what I want, and then it's not going to turn out exactly the way I want it to turn out. And I do it anyway because I just cannot get it out of my head. And I truly believe, especially artistically, you just gotta do that sometimes, and that might help you get out of an artistic rut. If you feel like you're just not going somewhere, just even those bad ideas, just do them. Throw them on canvas. This might still be terrible. I have no idea. And I have got to say again, just because I'm struggling with it right now, I love the mattifying effect of the matte gel, but I do not necessarily love it mixed in with my paint. I just don't. It's alright. It's not great. Moderately frustrated with this, and I'm just kind of haphazardly. This is not what I wanted. That is obviously not at all what I planned on painting. It's not beautiful to look at or anything like that. It's just kind of one big giant scratchy mess. I don't know if through the fast forwarding cuts that you could feel my frustration. You know, I wasn't happy with the flowers, and then I thought, okay, let's do some trees, and then I didn't like, because I was trying to cut out a step of having to put the matte gel on top of that, and that can be hard with fine lines. So I was like, I'm just gonna mix it into the paint, and then it still wasn't acting the way I wanted it to act on the canvas. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. I think this was actually a really good kind of shake out and let it all go. And I think that's just a good reminder. When it comes to your art, sometimes you do you. Barrel forward with a terrible painting, paint over it, paint something crazy on it. I can't tell you how good that feels just to, you know, scribble essentially is the equivalent of that in paint. Today had just been frustrating for no reason. I was doing so good and budgeting my time. I have a lot of things prepped. I'm excited for like a whole paint day tomorrow, but it just wasn't, I just wasn't on today. And I think that's one of the most frustrating things as an artistic person of any nature is you always ask, well, how do you keep the muse going? How do you keep that going? And really that's not what you need to rely on. There is obviously something to that. I can say as an artist, as talking to other artists, there really is something to the inspiration and to being inspired, and that special something that you're able to put in your work. I wish we could scientifically, you know, boil it down and quantify it, but maybe that's part of the magic of art too, is the fact that you really can't. However, if it's something that you really want to do and you want to do as a living, you have to find a way, even on those off days, even when it's not going to be some crazy, wonderful piece of art, it's still good to do. It's still good to brush up your skills. Even when you're not inspired, you should still do something. I super was not inspired, but that felt really, really good. And yeah, I could say, oh no, I ruined the background. Oh well, it's art. It's okay. No use crying over spilt milk. No use crying over a ruined background. And it's not ruined. I still used it. It was still good artistically. Don't just put the paintbrush down. Maybe paint something. Find something else artistic. Find a way to do something that you feel accomplished about. I promise you will feel better afterwards. Even if it's a scribbly, crazy mess like this, it'll be okay. That's what I've got for you today. If you're doing something artistic, if you are maybe really struggling along today, let's chat about it in the comments. I'd love to talk. All right, bye.